yourself a squat and find yourself a fly. Get ready for the show, for better or for not, with the topics most ill and the hosts most deaf. Tune in, plug in, then take a slide to the left. So I would love to like start a business with you, E, where we actually like do electronic thongs.
Electronic thongs? That sounds incredibly dangerous, but maybe
Why?
stimulating
No,
at
no,
the
no,
same
no,
time.
no, no, no. Here's what you don't understand. Just like make the wire, not the what, make the G string that goes through the crack like an electrified wire.
Yeah, right. That sounds incredibly dangerous. I don't know if you
No,
know.
no, no, no. It's a stimulant. It's a stimulation device.
I feel like there are better ways to stimulate that area.
You're telling me that electroshock, quote unquote, therapy isn't a good idea?
Maybe not in that particular area.
Butt shocker. Butt
I feel like
shocker.
that would definitely change. What do they call that? Conversion therapy. Conversion therapy
Yeah,
would be
yeah,
a
yeah.
lot weirder if they were doing it that way. I feel like people would be willing to go at that point.
All right, I'm just gonna insert this into your. I'm
What's
just gonna
up, Bill?
insert this. I'm just gonna insert this into your urethra.
Yeah, yeah. I'm trying to think of a pun that like rhymes with inversion that would like go with like no, not I
Perversion?
mean conversion. Sorry.
Perversion therapy.
Perversion therapy.
Oh god.
Oh man, these are a shocking pair of undies.
Dude, like, do you remember those sticks of gum that you would get in like elementary school where they were fake and if you pulled it, it vibrated really hard and it
fuck,
shocked
yeah.
you?
Those are
Dude,
the pens that did the same thing too.
Dude, the pens weren't that bad. I could tolerate the pens.
Ah, I couldn't stand any of it. It was bad.
No, dude, the gum ones. Imagine doing those, but incorporating that violent of a vibration into like a pair of underwear.
Into a pair of thongs. Oh man, dude,
fuck.
we've just cornered the best market in history.
I don't know
Speaking
about
of
the
it,
best, but it's certainly up there.
Speaking of markets,
Oh, God.
I would say, what's up?
What a
Bill?
transition.
Oh no, because I've got another invention.
Oh, okay. What a transition, right?
Yeah, no. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we buy a cheap taser,
Yeah.
take it apart, and then rehouse it into a glove, so
Oh,
that when
fuck.
you shake someone's hand, you do the Joker thing to them.
So you
Are
mean
you the-
like
Are you the Riddler?
a deathly buzzer?
Yeah, it's not joyful.
Yeah, you don't say.
Dude,
This
imagine
just-
shaking
this
someone's
seems like
hand
an
and then dude, imagine shaking someone's hand and then just start shaking and fall over.
like,
This,
but like to the
this just
Kinda-
seems like an entire bit from like 1960s Batman. If I'm gonna be
yeah,
entirely honest.
no, but it's to the point where like you see their skeleton.
Yeah. This seems
The
straight
hair-
out of
the hair
1960s
sticks
Batman.
up.
Like, this is an episode that Batman had to catch the Riddler.
Yeah.
Actually, the Joker who had that, but yeah.
Wasn't it the Riddler? Oh,
No,
that
it's
was
the
the
Joker.
Yeah. He's like, here, shake my hand, friend.
Oh
And
god.
then-
Yeah, there you go.
Dude, but like,
Blow your fucking
I
head off.
I just find those kinds of like that's right up my alley of like
That's right up my asshole.
no, because it's a harmless
Like
gag
the thong, like the
made,
e-thong.
it's a harmless gag made incredibly harmful.
It's true. Hey, do you need to borrow a pen?
Didn't we have a whole conversation yesterday about avoiding lawsuits? Feel like this has fallen under that category again.
No, this is
How-
creating lawsuits.
How are we creating?
Please do this at
lawsuits?
home.
Please do this. Oh yeah, wait, we're not. Please do this only at home. Do not do this at work. This is not safe for work.
Only try this at home and no professionals.
No,
Hey, did you not get that
absolutely-
promotion? Go shake your boss's hand with this.
Yeah, right.
Dude, imagine like
Yo, that's the plot to Horrible Bosses 5.
Oh my
but
God.
that dude, that's just such like listen,
Have
like
they
a
made 4
taser.
of those?
No, only 2.
Oh, okay.
You know, at least they stopped there. It wasn't a hangover.
Yeah, that's true. They didn't
I'm
have
just-
a hangover and forget about the other 2 they made.
Wait, but can we just admit for a second that Horrible Bosses 1 is really 9 to 5 2?
What's 9 to 5?
The Dolly Parton movie where she and her coworkers kidnap their boss?
So you're saying it's 9 to 6?
No, it's just 9 to 5.
Oh,
you know
God,
that
yeah.
song? Working 9 to 5.
No, I know. I'm saying the second one, Horrible Bosses 1, is 9 to 5.
Yeah, like
too.
Ocean's, like
Or-
the sequel
or
to
9
Ocean's 11 is Ocean's
What-
12.
Yeah, is
and then
9 to 5
Ocean's-
is 9 to 5 2 18 to 10?
Yep.
Or is it 11 to 7?
No, the
you-
prequel.
Do you add 2 or multiply?
No, the prequel is the Yes song 405 or 621.
Sure.
Damn, I thought it would take us a lot longer to get to the bad puns, Sam. But I guess you're rocking and rolling.
I
Today.
will never avoid the bad puns. The bad puns are where it's at.
Yeah,
So-
no. There's a certain level. There's a certain level of horrible where it becomes great.
Oh, exactly. It like it's like the unpunny valley.
Dude, what's that show that we were watching where they just kept fucking drinking, like the secret agents, and they were just drinking?
Oh, you mean Danger 5?
Yes.
Danger 5 is essentially that, where it's like, oh, this just the most ridiculous 1960s plot. Let's just have Hitler jump out of the window every time at the end of the episode, and that's his escape. Same window every time, and it's the 60s, and it's Hitler.
It's just the same clip of Hitler jumping out the
It's
window.
amazing. All they did was just reverse it back and forth. You'd fucking love that show if you haven't seen it. Only the first
I haven't
season.
seen it.
The second season is ridiculous. Danger
I'll have to
5,
check
it's called. Oh, it's so
Danger
funny.
5. Is there a particular streaming series this is on, or do I need to just find it from the internet?
I think you might have to legally find it amongst the internet.
Right, legally, of course.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So I figured it would probably be good to introduce the personalities of the show.
You already said his name.
Who's
Sorry,
name?
we can edit that shit out.
I didn't. Did I say it? Oh, I don't
Yeah.
remember.
Yeah, you
Whatever.
did.
We can just
No,
listen, Bill. Bill, we can just edit. Just anytime we say his name, just
No, like no. You know what would be even funnier is getting clips of people dramatically saying names from movies.
Stella.
Marcellus Wallace.
Yeah, there you go.
Just yelling Stella. That's where it's at. So Bill, it appears that you're at the top of the list, and your name is Billy of Rights. Maybe that informs your political opinion.
Yeah. That's
wow,
correct.
great, cool intro, buddy.
All right, we'll end the episode right there. Thank you.
All right, let's cut it right there, man. You really talk highly of yourself.
No, I feel Bill on this. It's weird to like introduce your own ideology.
Okay. I'm gonna kick Craig out. Hold on.
All right, bye, Dad.
Greg.
America's hat.
You know, Canada.
Oh,
Canadian.
I was like, huh?
America's, the people, the stories,
No,
the maples.
Dude, I was thinking of the hat that I got in 8th grade from the Statue of Liberty. To me, that's America's hat.
Fair enough.
It says,
Do you know? It says what?
it says on the top, Statue of Liberty, because it's like, hey, I want to tell people I like it here while still being politically ambiguous.
Well, fair enough. You may have America's hat, but Monica Lewinsky sucked America's dick.
Wow.
Dude, wait, does that make the president's penis the first wiener?
Yo, don't do that when I'm drinking water, man. Okay. So I guess we should just go down the list. So Bill, you're at the top. Why don't you give yourself a little introduction?
I'm Bill.
I hate you.
We'll find out.
This is like the first day of school. Like, why don't you stand up and tell the
but
class
the
a
point is,
little
let's
about
do
yourself?
okay,
Icebreaker.
Yeah,
Wanna play
sure.
Icebreakers.
Sure, yeah. Why the fuck not?
I'm
Point is,
Bill, and I have an unhealthy obsession with instrumental surf music.
all right, fair enough, man. I'm Sam. I'm a math nerd.
Hmm.
And this is Marcellus Wallace.
And this is
Oh, yeah.
Marcellus
I was gonna
Wallace.
say, is it my turn? I'm Marcel.
Yeah, electronic thong. Yes.
Electronic Thong. Yep. Streaming live from a library with far too many books in it that are mine.
There you go, man.
If
That's
it's
the
a
way to go.
library, it's everybody's. And
No.
you-
It's my library though. It's not
Oh,
So I have
Yeah.
a question.
not a public library. For who?
What do you guys think of Trevor Noah?
I think he's funny.
I agree with him, but I think he prioritizes the point over the joke, which as a comedian I don't necessarily agree with his priority there.
Fair enough.
I think his stand-up is funnier than his show.
I didn't actually know that
agree
he
with
did
that.
stand up. I didn't know that. I should check
Oh,
that
yeah,
out
yeah,
because
you should
I've
check
been
out
seeing
his
it mostly
stand-up.
on the show, and the show.
It's very funny because he talks a lot about the disconnect between like American and South African culture and just like the difference sometimes and like
Yeah.
how it can be very confusing.
Oh, like to
There's a-
him.
Yeah, there's a very good bit about a napkin, which you should just watch because it's hilarious. And I won't.
A bit
do it
about a
justice.
napkin. Okay, I'll take that. But the reason I bring him up is because I watched a video of his that he just put out a couple days ago that I've been showing everybody, and it's like a commentary on, the state of the sort of the city's on fire at the moment. And I just felt like it was a pretty poignant reflection of it all, because he the one, how people, you sort of have a good idea of what your position is on something, and then someone puts it in a sentence that you would have never thought of, and it's like, oh, that's a like perspective shifting kind of way of phrasing it. It was like,
Yeah, of course.
people like right sort of pundits are always saying things like, what good is it doing that people are rioting in the way that they're doing? And he just posed the simple, reversal of that. He's like, well, why doesn't anybody ask what good isn't it doing? Like what impetus do the people that are currently, I nearly said rooting and rioting. What impetus do they have to uphold the social contract, right? When they're more or less, both metaphorically and literally, getting the knee of the man in blue on their neck every fucking day. And I'm like, that's a good way of putting it, right? What impetus do they have to uphold the social contract? And so I guess I was just curious as to know, what are your perspectives on the undoubtedly violent, but almost, I don't know if I hasten to use the word justified, but the state of the country at the moment.
If you don't mind, I'll start by saying that I feel conflicted for two reasons, right? On the one hand, I would say that riots have in the past given us so much that we take for granted now, right? Like, it took a lot of violence and rioting to give us, first of all, the country. It started with the destruction of property. Then
and the denial of the authority of the other government.
Exactly. Then you can go forward and say that violence, started the Civil War, ended the Civil War. Violence started and ended civil rights. It gave people the 8-hour work week, the 5-day work week. It just
5-hour work week. My God.
Man, this isn't France.
This isn't France.
But it's, on the one hand, when people are like, "Oh, violence has never solved anything," I think that's very short-sighted to say that it's never solved anything. But on the other hand, I wouldn't even say it's short-sighted. I would just say it's historically not true. Like, because it's a denial of the reality. That's right. Well, but that's also ignoring. I'm sorry, Bill.
Oh, I was gonna say that's the point that I'm gonna make, but continue.
No, I was gonna say, on the other hand, then I feel conflicted because, like, on the one hand, I'm supportive of, what Trevor Noah was saying, like, they're not upholding the civil contract for them, so why do they have to uphold it on their end? But on the other hand, like, it's like there is a question. I mean, there's news out there now that a lot of the people being arrested for inciting violence are not even from the cities. That's weird. It's almost like people are just are like, there's an opportunity to get my rocks off, to get my anger out. Weird. Well, literally, maybe they're using rocks. So they might be.
Yeah, get those rocks out of here.
Well, it's also weird that this is coming in the wake of Memorial Day, which is a huge celebration and remembrance of people who quite literally used violence to solve their problem.
Right.
Yes, but it was justified in the eyes of most people at the time.
Well, think about this. You have to. That's where you kind of come into the dichotomy of the court of public opinion versus the court of. You have to, like, yes, there's the court of public opinion and there's the court of law, but everyone also has to answer to themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So
I think the people that are rioting have answered to themselves. They've made the decision that, and okay, the people that are coming in opportunistically aside, right? Like, the people that aren't even from the towns. Yeah, I'm talking about, the people that feel like, okay, now is my opportunity to express my distaste and my distrust with this system that's infringed upon my basic humanity for my entire life. Like they've come to terms with that in themselves. They've decided, not only do I have the balls to go out and do this, but I have the impetus, right? I have the justification. Whether it's correct or not, they've come to terms with that within themselves.
But this is also, like, I don't want to say, like, history isn't cyclical, but this is also more or less how it always works. It's when you you have a separate class of protectors from the average citizenry, and when the average citizenry, be they peasants in medieval times that are protected by a lord who has raised an army, or be they 21st century Americans in urban areas who are terrorized by police, when people don't feel that the social contract, like you mentioned, is being upheld, they typically seek to either overthrow or reassert their dominance over their conditional protectors. And it doesn't, like I said, like it doesn't matter if you're overthrowing Lord Floofy Pants in Castle wherever the fuck, because he's not protecting Boroughshire upon Shireborough.
I want it to be known that originated with me.
Yes,
Oh,
that is Sam's joke.
Stealing credit, Sam.
And
I
it's
see you.
and it like they're storming his castle with pitchforks, or in the 21st century where someone's lighting a police station on fire. Now listen,
Right.
I don't think anyone here is condoning unnecessary violence,
Of course,
but
right.
that's where the thing is: all violence unnecessary.
No.
I like
no.
that's. And I think to say that it is very reductive.
Well, no,
It is
you can
very reductive,
you
yeah.
can make a really easy, as someone who's mathematical, right? You can prove yourself right with the easiest case. If you're trying to save somebody else's life as an innocent person, then violence is absolutely justified, right? If I'm very shocked, honestly, that nobody tackled what's his face? I don't remember his name.
I'm glad.
Chauvin.
Yeah, Chauvin, I
Piece of
think.
shit
Chauvin.
cop.
Yeah, I was
Chauvin,
just thinking
whatever.
that, Bill. I was just thinking that. I'm like, you know what? I'm not mad. I don't remember his name, but it's like Eric Chauvin or something like that. But because like, okay, everybody watched as you took a man handcuffed, cooperating with you outside, and then you put him on the ground and kneeled on his neck for 8.5 minutes. And
Yeah.
there's no justification for that.
Well, I mean,
You know,
Sam, you got to ask the question
okay.
of why nobody tackled him, because what happens when people do fight back against the police is they become the victims themselves, and it took, somebody losing their
hang
life.
on. Well, no, there's a good example recently because I'm pretty sure Denzel Washington literally at some point this week got out of his car and like stopped police from arresting like a black homeless man because he's like, this is about to be another fucking another. I'm pretty sure
you're about to be on the news.
Yeah, you're about to be on the news. So I'm just gonna, because let's be honest here. It's a shame that, and I don't mean it's a shame that Denzel won't get shot. I mean, it's a shame that you have to be a particular person, I'm mad that Denzel Washington's not getting gunned down in the street.
No, but that would be wild though. Like, can you imagine if like some cop just shot a black actor he didn't know was a famous
Yeah,
actor?
it's like, who the fuck is Denzel Washington?
Right.
I don't know why the cop is Southern. This happened in Minneapolis. Well, not the Denzel thing, but the Lloyd thing.
Like, yeah, dude, Prince was from Minnesota, wasn't he? Imagine if they had a Prince
and a fat fucking bassist, man.
Dude, Prince was a better instrumentalist than who everyone thinks is the best instrumentalist in that instrument is.
I disagree, but he was an amazing bassist.
He's an amazing everything, but we digress.
Yeah, so video involving Denzel Washington and police goes viral after George Floyd's death. I can't open that particular link because they're like, hey, it looks like you've got ad blocker on. Don't you want to buy our newest pair of shoes?
Don't you want to get re-shown the thing that we've already seen because of an algorithm?
Don't you want to buy that thing again?
Dude, I hate how internet ads have become like, like it used to just be like you put up a billboard and enough people drive by it, chances are someone's going to see it and be like, oh, that seems like a service that I would like to procure. But now it's like you go online and you search for hats with dick patterns, and then you go, maybe this isn't a wise choice of my money, and then all of the ads you see are like, hey man, want to go buy that wiener hat?
On your head?
Wanna go buy? Come on, man! I saw you looking at dick hats. Like, you want to buy
20% off wiener hats?
Like,
Hey, don't you want to be a dickhead?
Like, dude, everyone says drug dealers are low lives, and now algorithms are using their advertising methods.
Well, I don't think anybody was arguing that companies and corporations aren't low lives while drug dealers are. I mean, I think we have a pretty general understanding that Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk are pieces of shit, although the internet was starting to lose their love for Elon Musk.
Actually,
this-
okay, so I'm losing my love for Elon Musk because I feel like he's going nuts. But like,
No, bro. He was always nuts. It's just like he was playing it cool for so long because he needed that NASA contract.
okay, so well, hang on. So I have let's
We are all over the place with this.
It doesn't
but
matter.
let's-
Who gives a fuck?
Yeah, no,
Who
I
gives a
don't
fuck?
give a shit.
Let's harp on that a little bit. We can go back to the previous conversation, but I'm curious about your perspective. So there was just recently, as I'm sure you both know, a historical moment when the first private space entity just launched 2 American astronauts up to the ISS. Not only is it the first privatized one, it's the first time that that people have been put at the space into the International Space Station from America since the space shuttle was decommissioned in 2011. I think it was 2011. So
9 years.
yes,
That's
wow,
almost
yeah.
80 years.
It's almost 80 years. So like what do you think of that? Because I mean, okay, we're finally launching people in American soil again. I don't know. I feel like that's kind of a good thing,
So
right?
it's
It's
very
almost like bringing
cool.
it's almost like the space flight version of bringing jobs back to the homeland.
It's very cool. I think when I saw like this interesting post online that was like a contrast of what was happening in America like 2 days ago when they launched it. Was it yesterday they launched it?
It was yesterday.
Yesterday.
Yes.
So they took a picture of like a cop car on fire in one of the cities that's riding, and then like superimposed it with the photo of like the astronauts like shooting off into space.
Yeah.
And I was just like, this is the most like cyberpunk wild thing I've ever seen in my life. Like on the ground, we're burning police cars. Meanwhile, like a private company is sending people into space again, which again, really, really cool. You know, like despite my qualms with Elon Musk as a person, especially during the quarantine, how he was acting. But
Oh yeah, go back to work.
yeah, right. He's like, I'm gonna defy the law. And the governor was like, no, you can't do that. He's like, I'll take my company and leave. And she was like, ah, shit.
Dude, he's got the worst track record with things with like disasters that don't have anything to do with him.
I know.
Like with that thing in Thailand where he accused a rescue diver of being a pedophile.
Yo, it's so crazy. I forgot about that because of all this that was going on.
Dude, it's like he's not like he just has such a bad track record of like this has
Running his
nothing to do
mouth.
with you, but you still come out looking worse for it.
It's like it's
Dude,
so fucking- I don't even have an analogy. It's just ridiculous.
It's like the PR version of rubbernecking so hard you crash into the pileup.
Yes, that's the perfect fucking analogy.
Like, oh, look at that over there, and you don't realize your car's drifting, and you
Dude,
become
it's
part
funny
of the crash.
because I'm imagining one of those videos because I remember seeing like a video of a horrible like pile up on the highway, and then just like 7 more times like cars just come barreling into the back of these other cars because they had to just look.
It's
They
like
had
that,
to
dude.
look.
It's like that one episode of SpongeBob where they're just being chased by a bunch of cops, and then they all just do.
Oh,
Man, that
God.
show used to be fucking phenomenal.
Dude, that
but yeah,
show is so
so
funny.
sorry, we need to just to slightly stay on topic.
No,
But,
no,
like-
we should transition to SpongeBob now. I think that's a
Let's
great.
transition to SpongeBob. Let's talk about the political implications of SpongeBob fucking SquarePants.
Or
But
as they say in the Eastern Bloc, SpongeBob Gravatni Gashti.
It's true.
It is just,
Oh my god.
if any
You know-
Bulgarians are listening, I apologize for butchering the pronunciation, but I bet you're surprised that I knew that.
Yeah, we probably know more Bulgarians than the average bear.
Awesome krava.
Some krava moo. All right. I mean,
God.
has no idea what we're talking about.
I have
So-
no idea what you're talking about, but that's fine.
We knew a lot of Bulgarian people in college.
Ah,
We did too.
Yeah, but there were a lot of them around.
yeah, I guess percentage-wise, that's probably more than most people know. I don't think I know
Yeah,
anybody
no,
that's
it's true.
Bulgarian.
Dude,
We
man,
bought
the
them in. We knew them in bulk.
You should ask the next time you see him. Ask him if they know Victor Crumb.
Oh, that's right. They were from Bulgaria.
That's right. That's right.
Ah.
Crumb? Who's that?
Yeah, dude, it's from Harry Potter.
From Harry Potter,
Oh,
man. Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the dude from Durmstrang.
Durmstrang,
Right on.
where their
okay.
headmaster is a former, like, basically KKK member. Fucking wild.
Yeah, dude, that
Just casually drop that in the middle of the film. Like, how'd this guy become a headmaster?
dude, I
Amazing.
don't know, man. Dude,
Well, Harry Potter's set in like the 60s, isn't it?
No, it's set in the
it's set in the
90s.
90s.
Really?
Yeah.
All of their style is completely antithetical to that.
Dude, they wear robes and they don't even have cars. Like,
Which-
They're witches and wizards, bro.
Yeah, if it was set in the 60s, they'd be naked and not have cars.
Right, exactly.
They was- all
Robes
right,
were
fair
recent
enough.
inventions, apparently.
Fair enough.
But dude, that Harry Potter is such a trip because it makes no sense, but you also don't care.
Right. Well, it's like who says it? There's some author that characterizes the different magic systems, but basically he was saying like Harry Potter's a soft one because like she just threw in a bunch of stuff and never felt to explain it, but like you don't care because it's not necessary to explain it.
So I saw one video where some guy was like, "You mean to tell me in a world where anyone can appear at any point that they know at any time they use owls to send messages?"
Right. Like
Duh.
Like the
What do you
world.
mean? Why are you even asking, Bill? Duh.
well, I mean, even if you just ignore that, like aside from Quidditch, why are broomsticks even a thing? Like if anybody can just apparate at any moment.
Because
Right? Like why are these children
Come on.
using trains to get to a school?
To keep up appearances, obviously.
No, that's the stuff. Appearances. They have they have to build and hide an entire train system through the countryside using magic
Well,
instead
yeah,
of just having them apparate.
They actually talk about that. It's like if anyone walks along the train tracks, they get to a certain point where they just forget why they're doing what they're doing and turn around.
That's amazing.
Because magic.
Because
Oh,
magic.
God.
Dude,
magical world.
But here's the thing. For all of that ridiculousness, to this day, everyone could tell you what house they're in.
Right.
I
Yeah, I'm
have
a
no fucking
Ravenclaw.
idea. I never did that.
Sam, you're definitely a Hufflepuff or a Ravenclaw.
Do you want me to do it right now?
I could.
Yeah.
mm,
Honestly.
Hey everybody, it's Billy from Slide to the Left. On my other podcast, Marching West, I'm known as Billy the DM, where I go into how to run a West Marches campaign for Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition. So if you're interested in doing that, check out the podcast.
Fucking, I don't know. What would I do? Staying in with friends mostly. I mean, I go to concerts sometimes, but staying in with friends is what I usually do. Your mom sends you a howler. What the fuck is a howler?
It's a message that shouts. It's like a piece of paper that when you open it, it shouts at you.
Oh, well, fuck. Your mom sends you a howler for something you didn't do wrong. You write her back and tell her she's wrong, obviously.
Dude, your mom is the type to send you a howler. That is so
Yes.
funny.
Oh, shit. Guys, take a guess as to where I am.
Hufflepuff.
Slytherin.
Gryffindor.
Really?
Ah.
Yeah, so I have the heart of a lion. I never give up, never back down, give everything 100%. Good things happen to me because I fight for them. I stand up for myself and I have my friends because I believe... Oh, I stand up for myself and my friends because I believe in what is right. My energy is magnetic and it makes me a natural leader. What hogwash? I mean,
See,
Hogwarts.
I thought all of that was like I thought you would definitely be. See, Hufflepuff is just all of that, but nerdy. So I thought you would definitely land in Hufflepuff for that shit.
Motherfucker, I did martial arts, so I ain't no
that
nerd.
doesn't make you not a nerd, Sam. Like,
Yes, it does.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does. I'm standing by it.
My goodness.
My goodness.
Mr. Miyagi is a nerd, all right? That man is a nerd. He's a cool nerd, but he's a nerd.
Wax
dude.
on,
Have you seen
wax off.
Mr. Miyagi has so much hentai in his house that you just never see.
Yo, dude, you know what? I was gonna
That's why
say,
he's
do you know
got
what?
the bonsai
Do you know what the phrase would be for all that hentai?
Wax on, whack off.
No. Whack on, whack off.
All right, don't you dare disrespect Mr. Miyagi like this.
Yo, I've never even seen those movies. Whatever.
Really?
Okay, wait.
Yeah, I'm not interested.
Does it help that I'm referring to the new Karate Kid, Mr. Miyagi?
There you go. There you
I mean,
go.
that's just Jackie
Chan.
Chan.
Jackie
Yeah,
Chan.
dude. Jackie Chan's a show for the Chinese Communist Party who disowned his own son.
Yeah, well.
Holy shit! Really?
Yep.
You ever seen like videos of China?
China. Yeah. Dude, that was the funniest fucking thing. I'm so glad. Yeah, man, I know I rag on this country sometimes, but I'm pretty glad that we live in America. Like, have you ever seen videos of like China? And all I can picture is like the camera panning over that like the wilderness with those rocks that are really narrow but stacked up super high.
Yeah.
Just like wilderness videos of China, just
Just a kind of ignorant, stupid phrase out of my mouth.
that was so, dude. That was so.
I was a sophomore. What can I say? I was sophomoric.
That was so funny.
What can I say?
Oh.
Have you ever seen the movie Burn After Reading?
Yes, I have.
That's a
Not in
great.
a while.
We all gotta like sit down and watch that fucking.
That
movie.
is Now, correct me. That's the one with Brad Pitt, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Okay. Yes. Yes. I remember
Francis
seeing that.
McDormand and John Malkovich.
Yes, I got that. I got that movie back when Netflix used to they didn't have streaming. They just sent you shit.
Like DVDs.
Yeah, they sent you DVDs, which you could still get apparently. But like, why the fuck
Who
would you
does
do
that?
that? Actually, I know I work with somebody that does
Old Man
that.
Jenkins.
Yeah, I guess if you live in a flyover state.
Fair
Which-
enough, man. Fair enough. So I have a question. Should we try to I know we were sort of just letting the things flow, but it seems like we've come to like a natural end of that little
The
stream.
Harry Potter diversion.
Yeah, it seems to come to the natural end of that little sidetrack.
I like that we started with what do we think about the riots against police brutality, and we winded up with Sam taking the Harry Potter quiz.
Yeah, listen, if it took more than 2 minutes, I wouldn't have done it.
I'm also taking one, and I'm on the last question. So, Sorting Hat, which house do you identify with?
Oh wait, you're not taking the one on BuzzFeed?
I am taking the one on BuzzFeed. There's more than one.
Are
There's
you kidding?
Dozens of. There's also the
Dude.
one that's actually on the Harry Potter website.
Oh well, fuck!
Yeah.
Why didn't anybody? That would have been what I would have done. Damn it!
Well, I didn't know you were taking the one on BuzzFeed. Dude.
Y'all
Dude,
didn't, y'all
so you gotta
didn't,
start the
y'all didn't tell me
whole
there was
thing
more than
over.
one. I just looked up Harry Potter quiz and BuzzFeed came up. Like, it's not like
Dude,
I'm
it doesn't-
happy to be on BuzzFeed. Fuck BuzzFeed.
Bro, it doesn't matter. This isn't determining your future career. It's
Yes,
it
it
is. Relax.
Imagine.
Oh,
You're gonna
that'd
be a welder.
so- No, honestly, that's a really good college admissions essay prompt. What Harry Potter house are you and why?
And do you agree?
Because, and if you haven't read it, you just don't get into college.
Oh my god.
That's,
Well, I guess if you haven't read Harry Potter and you're about to go to college, you might as well just spend a month reading all of them because it really shouldn't take you longer than that.
I think I read the longest one in like 3 days.
The longest one is
Same.
number 5, and it's 870 pages.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but they're not hard reads.
They're not.
And
They're
they're-
not really hard reads.
Nah,
It's
mine
not
aren't.
like-
Mine aren't, especially because they're paperback.
Oh my god. Sam.
Shut up. No, it's but that you also Harry Potter's nice in that they like you don't hit that wall that you sometimes hit while you're reading where your eyes continue to move but your brain doesn't absorb the information.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah,
while
yeah.
we're on the topic of stuff that we're reading, can I share with you something I'm reading?
Sure.
I'm reading, and I think you would find this interesting. I'm reading a book by the mathematician Stanislav Ulam. He's like a Polish guy who was born in like the
I
19th.
couldn't tell.
Yeah, right. I couldn't tell. The L in his name is like
Our-
the L with the slash through it, so it sounds like a W. Stanislav.
Stanislav?
Yeah,
Yeah, like Vladislav?
yeah, and the town of Łódź. So yeah, it's called Adventures of a Mathematician, and I'll just read you the details on the cover. Member of the famous Polish mathematical school, one of the first to use and advocate computers for scientific research, co-author of the paper that was the basis for the construction of the hydrogen bomb, originator of ideas for nuclear propulsion of space vehicles, unique for his fundamental contributions to the most abstract and abstruse fields of mathematics. And like, I found it really funny going through the chapter about his time at Los Alamos, like developing the because he's just a pure mathematician that just like hopped from university to university and just luckily was in America with his brother when World War II broke out.
Is he also a witcher?
No, he's dead. So
No.
he's not anything anymore. But it's neat because this is a book that I got at the book fair at where we were a year ago, Mr. Electronic Thong. And I haven't read it.
You guys went to a I haven't been to a book
It
fair.
wasn't a book fair. It was a book fair at this where we were. I suppose we don't want to like give implications as to where our location is. Hello?
Yeah, I live in
matter.
I'm on the moon.
I'm on the moon. I'm just trying to be discreet. The point is, I loved reading the chapter about his time at Los Alamos, helping build like the, like nuclear fission and all that, because he's talking about all these world famous physicists and mathematicians like Richard Feynman and John von Neumann and Enrico Fermi. And he's like, yeah, I was just sitting around playing poker with all these people. And, like your mind wanders and, can't really win a game when you're thinking about the math that's going to change the whole fucking world. And it's like, all right, these people seem like, he's humanizing all of these people that he worked around. He's like, these kind of funny, eccentric fellows that I worked with, helping me build this enormous weapon that's going to end the war. It's sort of just an interesting juxtaposition. Because it doesn't go into like any of the mathematical stuff. It talks about like his perspective from being a professional mathematician. And so I think that just the historical side of it all, I think both of you would find it quite interesting. Because World War II is very neat, and it's just a neat foray into somebody's mind.
It's really really interesting when you get to like those things that you consider landmark achievements of humanity, and then you're like, oh wait, yeah, that wasn't an achievement of humanity. It was just those guys, and they didn't think at that point they were scions of humanity. They were just those guys.
Yes. It's true. It's true. They were just those guys, and it's like, it's that's actually kind of a funny that you put it like that, because you see pictures of these people. It's like, okay, there's years of time between this picture and that picture, and just imagine what this person has seen and lived, and like and that goes for anybody, not just people that are drastically changing the history of the world. It's like there's so many stories to be told. It's like it's sort of a shame that not everybody can be equally a good essayist and writer. And be able to write their own story down, but like, well, not everybody's life is worth. I don't know if everybody's life is worth reading. Mine probably isn't.
Actually, I'll counter that with one thing that I did in school, in college, when we studied a lot about like oral history and just like hearing the stories going back to like World War II.
Yeah,
we did oral histories with like grads of the school, like alumni of like their role in World War II. And it was fucking like pretty wild to listen to just like individual stories, because you always hear about like the big guys and like the big operations, but you don't hear about like what it was like to be just a person there
watching it all go down.
It was pretty, yeah, kind of just like being a person, like being like, yeah, I was like, I got off the boat and like a bomb exploded next to me, and there was like a dude who like I just had known like a couple hours just like bleeding to death on the beach beside me, and it's just like, bro, and you're just like telling me this like now. I'm just like, holy shit.
Yeah, I mean, it's lived experience, man. It's crazy.
So I would say that it's not just the big stories that matter.
No, I know.
Whenever I hear the phrase oral history, and I say this as someone who has a degree in history, whenever I hear oral history, I can never not think the story of oral history began in ancient Rome with a man named Fallacius Magnus.
And he
changed the world.
He changed history. He was the inspiration for Deep Throat.
Oh my god.
The porno, not the guy that outed Nixon.
Dude, that'd be a really good name for the history of fellatio. Just write a book called Oral History.
Oh, I mean, yeah, duh. That would be the way to go. And then the history of sex in the ear would be oral history.
Oh.
Oh.
Oh my god.
But all I was saying was I just felt like sharing that, and I think either of you would enjoy this book.
That does sound like a pretty interesting
book.
Might
just
like the nonchalance of him talking about it.
Yeah. No. It really is like that, because he's got a really great wit too in the way that he writes. And this is like an original copy from 1976. It's all yellowed and it smells really nice, and it's just a cool book. You might have to like occasionally look up what certain phrases mean, because he doesn't go into detail about like what he did, like, his mathematical papers, but he says like, oh, I worked in this area and this area. So you could either look him up or just be like, hey, Sam, what the fuck is this? And I'll be like, that's for that. And then that'll give you some context.
Because a lot of the atom bomb stuff in the 70s might have been still classified.
I don't know how long you can keep something classified when you drop it on two cities.
No, I think he just means like
the details.
Yeah, like
the details,
how.
Yeah,
how. Like the how of how they did it.
Yes, the how of why they wear it. Amazing. Anybody else reading anything interesting at the moment?
I've been obsessed with boats lately.
Okay.
Boats. It's for so. This goes
into. I have a thing I want to bring up about boats too, which I think would get us back on track to something actually more appropriate to the title of the podcast. But go on.
No, because this doesn't have to do with real boats. This has to do with imaginary boats.
Okay.
So
square root of negative.
Niche hobby that I have. It's not really niche. It's just not germane to anything that we're talking about, which is everything else that we're talking about. But I play a fair bit of Dungeons and Dragons, and about a year ago, a rule system was published for how to like do like naval combat. So like two ships fighting each other with medieval era weapons, like they have ballistas and catapults on the boats. And I, for one, found the published rule system to be incredibly wonky. So I've been spending the last probably 4 or 5 days writing a rule system from scratch for a tabletop dice game.
Oh, you've
for
just
boats.
completely you're rehashing Dungeons and Dragons?
No, it's specifically the boat aspect of it.
Okay, interesting.
So everything else works exactly the same. It's just I've kind of revamped the boat stuff a little bit to be a little bit simpler. And so when I say I've been talking about boats, I mean I've been literally thinking, what do boats do? And then how can I abstract this so that the variables are determined by random number generation?
Interesting.
And what is a fair way to do that?
I'd have to think
without
about it.
making it unnecessarily obtuse.
Yes, acute boat angles is where you want to go. Hang on.
Yes.
Speaking of boats, do you have something to say? It sounded like you were trying to.
Oh no.
All right, because I want to.
I thought the boat when he started talking about imaginary boats, I was just like, all right, I got to see where this is going.
Yes, right. So let me bring you something about boats that I think is an interesting topic of discussion. And I hope everybody's ready to be more or less disgusted. So hang on. Where
I'm always prepared to be disgusted when I talk to you, Sam.
that's.
Oh man,
That's
is it?
Oh my God, they really keep changing the name of the fucking link. Oh man, these bastards. Hang on. I have to.
Wait, when you say disgusted, do you mean like, oh, that's gross, or like
You're gonna be grossed out. You're gonna be grossed out by what some people what some people write is what I'm saying.
Oh, it's morally repugnant.
Morally repugnant.
Oh, so it's like visiting the Donald on Reddit or something.
Yeah. I mean, if you don't
yeah.
immediately get fucking booted out. So this was the word for word name of an article that Bloomberg released.
Bloomberg the man
News,
or
Bloomberg News, owned by Bloomberg the man. This is
Bloomberg the man.
This is a real.
Who is not?
This is a real headline. It's a modern dilemma for the ultra wealthy. A yacht awaits, but how to safely reach it without exposure to the germ-ridden masses.
I saw that article.
I am ready to call a Frenchman. Like, what the fuck, man? Like, I can't even believe the gall. Like, how do you? I get that you're allowed to say whatever you want, but like, how the fuck are you so out of touch? We're literally, people in this country are burning it to the ground out of protest for how little they have. A little, pretty much justifiably, and you've got a handful of people. If I could just find this fucking article, because I have to read to you some of this word for word. It's really astounding.
Well, it's also the hypocrisy of them to cry class warfare every time that the bottom does anything.
Yeah.
Right.
No. And you know what? That's the funny thing. Because it's such a is it a catch-22 or a Kafka trap? I think it's a Kafka trap, because either you're poor and you complain and you're ungrateful, or you're rich and you complain about poverty and you're a hypocrite. Is anybody allowed to fucking talk about it?
Russell Brand basically
that was
said the
his
exact same thing.
That was yes. That was him, wasn't it? Yes. And oh
I
my
know
God,
that he has said it. I don't know if he was the original person that said it. But he's definitely said
that's
that.
whom I recall it coming from. Yo, I'm trying to find this. I bet they've taken this article down out of.
They probably took it down.
Yeah,
I mean, it was,
because
you have to consider too the context of the. It's not only the riots are happening on the cusp of like, you know, obviously unresolved police violence against.
Oh, I found it.
African
I found it. Quandary for.
Oh, you found a mirror?
What'd you just say?
Did you find a mirror?
I found a mirror. Are you telling me that
someone took the article and mirrored it?
Oh, I thought you were saying, because I said I was talking about it like it's repugnant shit, and you're saying I found a mirror, like, because I'm repugnant.
No, like you found a literal online mirror of the article that Bloomberg can't take down.
No, but they're blocking me from like using it because I have ad blocker, and it's like, you're out of your free articles for the day. And I'm trying to like scroll down enough that I can like read enough of it. You know what I mean? Because I'm not about to fucking give this company my, money, obviously. But I can't seem to do it at the moment, and I'm trying my best. But the point is that there's a question here. It's a modern quandary for the ultra wealthy. God damn it. Fuck you! I'm not doing this. I'm sorry. The point is, if you can find this article, it's absolutely horrendous that this is even something that's being questioned or considered. It's like it. Okay, so I'll give you like a brief thing of it.
It's not surprising.
They talk.
Though.
No, it's not. It's the gall is what shocks me. The unmitigated gall. So, hello. I did.
Hello.
Hang on.
Yeah.
Could you?
As we were saying, the unmitigated gall.
I'll come
The
down.
Gaul.
All right.
We have to conquer Gaul for the Roman Empire.
So
Dude.
so they're talking about in the article, they're like, if you go to Malta, where it costs you about $1.3 million to buy yourself a citizenship, it's a tax haven. There's no estate tax, there's no income tax, and pretty much you can just go there and house your yachts. There's a yacht marina. It's one of the most sanitized, coronavirus safe places. They literally have a service where, so that you don't have to interact with anybody, you get in a sanitized car to go to your sanitized yacht where you have all of your amenities that you ask for already stocked on that yacht.
So this just to me, like, have you ever seen Elysium?
I know, but I know what you're talking about, right? Where it's like
This is
everybody's
just
because Elysium is like in Bill. You can correct me if I'm wrong.
space.
I know, but the historical context of that is Elysium is like Roman heaven, right? That's where it's where Gluteus Maximus goes at the end of Gladiator.
You mean Fallacious Magnus?
Yeah, Gluteus Maximus, Maximus Minimus.
I actually don't know for a fact.
Have you never
I don't
seen
know that for a
Gladiator?
fact.
But yeah, I'm pretty sure Elysium.
Actually, I haven't seen Gladiator or Spartacus.
Well, wow. Okay, you got to see Gladiator.
Yeah, that's.
But
Yeah, I'm aware.
Okay.
You know what? Also, speaking of which, if you haven't seen the HBO show Rome,
I've heard great things about it.
it's fantastic. Like Kevin McKidd, I think he's the actor. He plays young MacGuffin in Brave.
Oh, okay.
Just the dude with the incomprehensible Scottish accent. And he's the lead actor, or he's one of the co-stars or Hollywood. But it's fantastic.
Right on. Perhaps we'll check that out. You were saying about Elysium, because it's like the rich people in the space, right? And
No, I mean that's essentially the entire plot of like these rich people build like a habitation center that orbits in the atmosphere of Earth, like above, while they just like basically leave the planet to like die of like climate change and disease and poverty and stuff like that.
like the Jetsons.
What?
That's the
Like
plot
the
of the
Jetsons,
Jetsons.
yes.
That's
Very,
my
very,
headcanon.
yeah.
Dude, that's my headcanon for the Jetsons, is that the Flintstones don't live in the past. They're concurrent with the Jetsons.
Just underneath the clouds, yeah, I've heard.
Yeah, they're underneath the clouds in a primitive like civilization.
That could be
I
pseudo
can't help but
creepypasta.
love the incredibly dark like fan theories that people have made up for like these incredibly harmless children's shows.
Here.
I
So
love
here,
that.
I have a. Damn it! I keep trying to read the article. Whatever. The point is, it's awful, and I just wanted to share that.
That is awful.
But yeah,
Thank you for sharing.
no problem. No problem. How long are we going?
I don't know, I'm good for like another 15 minutes before I go get some lunch and
Yes.
Yeah,
Sam is getting a little
do
famished.
some shit.
I am
You're Samus?
I'm
Sam's
famished.
always
Yes.
hungry.
I am always hungry. I'm ready to fucking eat a goddamn horse.
Dude, I can't wait till gym's open again, and I can I can like be hungry and not feel bad about it.
I can't feel bad about being hungry because I'm always hungry. But
Yeah, but Sam, you're like a rail thin human being. I don't even think you could gain weight if you tried.
not really. No, I couldn't. I'm not rail thin. My brother is rail thin. I'm like, I can put muscle on, which I have. It's just gone now because of this fucking virus. It's ridiculous. This is the worst part of everything. Nothing else bad is happening. The worst part is that I'm getting.
Nothing else
The
bad's
worst part
happening.
is the worst part is that I'm losing muscle mass. Nothing else. Nothing to complain about.
Yeah, somebody should organize a protest about that.
Yeah.
They should we should force them to reopen against our best interests.
The yes,
And you know what? Just to press the point, we'll bring assault weapons.
Yes,
You know,
yes.
because how do you
but
say no
hey,
to that?
Make sure you're white.
I was just gonna say we're all pale enough that we'd be fine, right? The cops would be like, "We just need to let them say what they want to say and protest what they want to say." But God forbid you've got too much melanin.
Oh god.
God forbid.
God forbid. The last I've been seeing lately, tells me that because she lives around an area where there is currently near one of the protests that's going on, and she said, hang on, she said, where was it? Speaking of the government, there's a protest in the town next to mine, and I can't decide if I should go. And I said, "Oh God, please be safe if you do. Don't if it's like a riot, but please leave if it becomes one." She said, "I'm not even sure I'm going to go." She says, "Okay, I'm definitely staying home because someone I know just went to a protest and got shot with rubber bullets, and I'm not brave enough for that." I'm like, well, yeah, you know, I can't blame you. I think we all have rioter in us at some point, and you know, we're all going to come to that eventually. But
Yeah, just make sure. I'm just make sure you get paintball goggles.
it's true.
Yeah,
It's true.
I definitely think that as this, if it escalates anymore, which I don't think it's going to.
I
but
really hope it
depends, like,
does. I got to be honest.
I hope it does too, but these things tend to burn themselves out pretty quickly. I mean, even if you just look at like the 60s and 70s, they had a couple day of rioting. They bring in the National Guard, and then shit just kind of like fizzles out because people get exhausted. It's really hard to maintain that. I mean, Hong Kong did it really well because they were fighting some like extra shit.
Yeah,
Well,
they
Hong
had
Kong's also it's an island. Like you can. I mean, not that it's easy, but like that helps.
No, it definitely helps. It's harder to deal with an island
Yeah.
than to deal with like a city, like just surrounded by, you know, literally in the country. But I don't know. I don't see it unless people are going to start really stepping up the level of resistance they're going to have. The riots are going to end eventually because, like, I mean, if you look at what Hong Kong had to do to keep this shit going, like everybody started coming out in gas masks and like padding.
Yo,
and
they were putting
they had some, like,
they were putting out tear gas bombs with cones and
Yeah,
water
with-
bottles. It's
with cones
fucking
and water
amazing.
bottles. Yeah,
And
it's remarkable, and it's good to take lessons from that. But I don't know if everybody is ready to. But although I could be wrong, because the last time that this stuff happened, we didn't have like 20% unemployment. You know what I'm saying?
20%.
Like, we're at a different place.
It's more than 20%, Ethan. That's
30
that's probably just the
Are
official.
we already at 30?
That's no, that's
I
just
haven't
the
even-
official one.
30.
That's just the official one because a lot of the time, if
Okay,
you're
I haven't.
think about it, if you're because furloughing is one thing, right? You're not getting your paycheck though, right? You're still
Yeah.
so
Right.
Between that and actual like unemployment plus underemployment
and furloughing.
and furloughing, it's probably close to 30.
I mean, the New York Times front page in the business section today had 40,767,000
Fair enough.
unemployment. Unemployment.
Yeah,
That-
so I mean, since that number is so fucking high, I don't think we haven't had numbers like that since the Great Depression.
Well,
Yeah,
well, 40
but what-
million if that's all, but that's since coronavirus started, right? There were already plenty of people unemployed in this country.
Well, the average floats around like 3-4%.
No, it's like 7 or 8, but
Yeah,
Is it
and
really?
so
Yeah.
40 million, call it 30 just for the sake of call it 30, call it 35. That's 10% right there.
But that's people who are collecting unemployment.
Yes.
Unemployment doesn't count people who aren't looking for jobs,
That's true.
and it doesn't count people who can't work, which in the U.S. is anybody who has coronavirus.
Right. Doesn't
Like,
count
it's-
homeless people, which is like
the-
500,000 right there.
Yeah, like the unemployment rate is it's a rate based on the number of people who are out of work that want it. But if you look at the number of people in the U.S. that can work that aren't, it's a lot higher. And the amount of people right now who, like even where I work, it's they're doing 4-day weeks. They were doing 4-day weeks, and a lot of people were doing every other. Like, so the amount of people who are underemployed plus unemployed plus can't even look for employment, it's high.
Listen,
Right,
you
yeah.
don't have to worry about it if you just go to your yacht. Hey, sports fans, it's Sam from Slide to the Left. If you find yourself interested in mathematics in any capacity or feel like you want to learn some cool ins and outs of the world of analysis and geometry and all that, then you should check out my YouTube channel, What the Hectogon. That's WHAT space THE space HECTOGON. Check it out. Maybe subscribe, throw me a couple likes, and we'll see. I might buy you dinner after that. Yeah. So wait, hang on. Before we end it.
Yeah.
I've been Sam.
I've also been Sam.
Thanks, Bill.
Yeah, let's just all be Sam.
Asshole. All right, and
Yeah.
it's also Sam. So thank you for listening to the first installment, whoever the fuck you are, of what are we going with? Slide to the left. I like
I
that.
don't know,
to the
but
left.
hopefully
Slide to
next
the left.
episode's much better.
What's up?
I said, but hopefully next episode's much better.
Oh, come on. Yeah,
No, this is perfect.
this is perfect. There's nothing wrong with this at all.
With this one, it will never get better, and so if you don't want better,
Keep watching.
Yep.
Listen.
and if you want better, don't watch or don't listen to anything.
Exactly. All right. Let's call it quits.
All right, bye guys.
Peace.
All right, get out of here, Craig.